We'll start in Shavasana. And as we take ourselves down onto the floor, laying in Shavasana, we're going to lay completely on our backs. Try to relax your hands. Try to relax your neck, your head, even your eyes. Sometimes we don't realize that we're really scrunching up our eyes or clenching our jaw. See if we can soften those features. Making sure we're happy with the room. Everything is set up so that we can be comfortable. And we'll take a few slow, deep breaths here. Keeping the shoulders rolling down into the ground. Noticing that the flat base of your head is resting comfortably on the floor with your nose pointing straight up to the ceiling. And as we continue to lay here, we'll notice that our breathing starts to slow down. Nice, easy breath in and out through the nose, filling your stomach, your ribs, your neck, your chest, everything with air. And then everything relaxes down. If we find ourselves getting distracted or if anything's bothering us, we have a couple of options. We can acknowledge them, address that they're there, we're aware of them, and accept it. Accept the noises, the sounds, anything that might be bothering us, the thoughts that are racing through our head. We can also remove them. We can focus on our breathing, how it feels as the air comes into the body, and how it feels as the air leaves the body. Now on our next inhale, I'll ask that we take our arms all the way up over our head, reach them long on the ground, see if we're able to reach them all the way above the head. Notice how this feels as we open up through the shoulders, the back, the chest, the ribs. Nice deep breaths as we hold that position. And then taking one more inhale, we'll exhale, release those arms, gather our knees into our chest and give ourselves a glorious hug. Squeezing those knees in against the belly or towards the stomach, and we can start rocking right to left. Noticing how this feels. If you're feeling any tightness through your hips, any knots through the back, and then let's hold this still and start rolling our ankles. Any cricks and cracks? Very nice. Keeping a hold of your right knee, lower that left leg all the way down to the ground. See how strong, how firm we can plant that left leg into the mat, trying to start that stretch along your left hip flexor, and then open that right knee out towards the right shoulder. Relax the shoulders into the ground. Slow, deep breaths. And we'll draw the knee over towards our left shoulder. Notice where we're feeling the stretch, what this feels like. Let's take our time as we bring the leg in through the middle and lower all the way down. Switching legs, we'll bring the left knee up into the chest. Firmly press that right leg down into the ground and open the knee towards the left shoulder. What are we feeling? Let's take that body scan. Imagining we're in that X-ray machine and we're feeling right now, or we're noticing what every part of our body looks like and feels like. Let's bring the knee over towards the right shoulder. Coming through the middle, and release down. Let's take our feet flat onto the floor now. Draw the heels in nice and close to the body, arms down by our side. Getting ready for glute bridges. Inhale, lift the hips up to the ceiling, articulating through the back. Exhale, slowly lower, one vertebrae at a time. Again, we'll inhale, lift up, pressing down through your whole feet, whole hands. Exhale, lower. We'll do 2 more of these. Inhale, lift up, press down through those shoulders. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lowering down. Very nice. Let's take our arms out to the side, lift our knees up 90 degrees. A little abdominal work as we go through our windshield wipers. Take an inhale in the middle. Now lower the knees to the right and exhale. Inhale, lift up to the middle. Exhale, lower to the left. Inhale, lift, always in control. Exhale, right, glue the shoulders to the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left. One more each way. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, lifting to the middle. And exhale, relax down. Very nice. From here, let's lift ourselves up and over, coming all the way up onto hands and knees, finding tabletop position. We'll place hands directly beneath shoulders, knees underneath our hips, nice flat backs as we find spinal balance. Extend your right arm forward, thumb to the ceiling. Bring that left leg back behind you and lower that down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale, down. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale, left, trying to stay nice and flat. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale one more time. Inhale, left. Exhale. Let's take some cows and cats. As we inhale, open the chest, look forward. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the bellies in, round the back. Inhale, cow, lift tall through crown of head. Exhale, round up to cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And one more of each. Inhale, cow, really lift tall. Exhale, round up to cat. Pull those bellies in and push back into child's pose. Sink through the hips, as low as your hips will come down into your heels. Extend those arms and rest the forehead. Let's take a couple big breaths and imagine ourselves in an X-ray machine again. Imagine what that X-ray is telling us, like a body scan. Now while we're here, we're going to stretch our shoulders, threading the right arm underneath that left, leaning into the right ear as best we can, really lengthening through the right arm as we stretch back into the right shoulder. Slowly coming through the middle. Let's take that left arm under the right side. And notice how this side feels. Maybe they're the same, maybe they're different. Very good. Let's release that arm. Come forward into tabletop, preparing for our runner's lunge. We sweep the right foot all the way up between the hands, knee stacked above ankle. We can keep our hands on the floor or lift tall all the way up onto your thigh. Now right away, notice your belly. Sometimes what we're doing when we're holding ourselves in runner's lunge is we lean our stomach forward. What I want you to do, I'm trying to see so you can see this, is keep your belly tucked in, but move your pelvis or your hips forward. To see the difference, instead of leaning your belly forward, keep your belly in and move your hips forward. It gives you a lot better stretch for that back hip. Now, while we're here, knee above ankle, let's lift the arms if we decided to do so, either above head or through heart center. Really focusing on the front of our left hip. Relax our shoulders, soft through our face. Breathe into your left hip. Find your balance. Think about how tall you can be through the crown of your head, wearing that crown so proudly. One more inhale. Now exhale, release the hands. Sweep the knee back, and we're going to switch sides. Taking the left foot forward instead. Help the foot get there if you need to. Knee right on top of ankle. Leaving the hands on the floor, or if you're lifting them up onto the knee, again, I want everyone to pull the bellies in. So bellies in, and then shift the hips forward. From here, we can reach the arms into position. Shoulders down, nice and tall, and open up through that right hip this time. Take a couple deep breaths. So whenever we're sitting, these hips are tight, and now we're opening them, we're lengthening, we're stretching them. Notice how that feels. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the hands down, sweep the knee back, and press back into child's pose again. Notice how everything's feeling. Get nice and small if that's possible. And we'll do another shoulder stretch while we're here. Walking the hands over to the right edge, left hand on top. Let's pull down and away. Stretching right from that left pinky finger, past the elbow, the shoulder, the ribs, into our left hip. Let's walk our hands through the middle over to the left edge of the mat. Right hand comes on top. I like to interlace my fingers, and we pull past that right arm this time. Slow, deep breathing. Slowly coming through the middle. We'll come up into tabletop again. And this time we'll step that right foot out to the side, coming into a modified froggy position. So if you can see that, okay, I've held my tabletop position, and then I've taken my right leg right out to the side. From here, you can curl those left toes underneath and then shift your weight back. Some of us will stay quite high. Some of us are going to come down onto our elbows. I want you to play with this position so that you can target the inside of that right hip in this modified frog position. Staying where you are, I'm just going to demonstrate from the other side so you can see. Taking slow, deep breaths. Good, and we'll switch sides now. Taking our time coming up through the middle, tabletop. If you have to do a couple hip wiggles, maybe that's something that's of interest to you. And then we'll switch to the other side, stepping that leg out, and then sitting back into your hip. Again, you can reach your arms forward, or you can come down onto your elbows. This is one of those exercises in yoga that can be done many different ways. I want you to play with it and just notice if you can feel that stretch. I'll show it from the side again in case anyone wants to see it again. As you continue to hold it from tabletop, left leg out, and then hips back. We'll hold this for just 2 more breaths. Amazing. Let's take our time coming up into table, and then curl your toes underneath of you and either come back into down dog or child's pose, whichever recovery position you've chosen today. If you're in down dog, go ahead and pedal out those feet toe to heel. working through the toes, the arches. The calf muscles might be something that starts talking to you. Good, I like just walking the dog right to left. Take a couple more. And then holding down dog, let's try to step those feet down as flat as they'll go, heels as close to or touching the ground, really lifting up tall through the tailbone, pushing your chest back between your shoulders. From here, we'll come forward into plank. Big inhale. We can take the knees to the ground if we need to exhale chaturanga, that slow, controlled lower down before lifting up into cobra. Big inhale. And exhale, push back, down dog or child's pose. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga, slow lower. Inhale, scooping up for cobra. Wonderful. Exhale, pressing back, down dog or child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Preparing for crescent lunge. We can kick our right foot high to the sky and then bring it forward between our hands, helping the knee get there, so a knee above ankle. If anyone's more interested in keeping hands on the ground today, or you can keep your left knee on the ground, repeat runner's lunge. Otherwise, your left leg is straight. We can come up onto our thigh. Same thing with your belly. Pull your belly button in and then move your whole hips forward rather than arching through your back. Reaching the arms up if that's an option. And then let's take that back left foot and come forward onto the tippy toes. Really fire up that thigh, which is going to help stretch our left hip flexor. Couple big breaths. Now from crescent lunge, we're going to take ourselves open into warrior two. Stay where you are. Crescent lunge, open up into warrior two. We turn the whole body to face the side of our mat. Bend into that right knee. Bend, bend, bend. And now let's stretch through the shoulders in side angle. Bring your right elbow down onto your right knee and bring that left arm up to the ceiling. Good, hold it here. Couple nice big breaths. Very strong, pulling our bellies in, stretching across the hips and through those shoulders. Taking a big inhale, lift up to warrior two. Now I want us to spiral all the way down over the right leg, step back into plank, push back into down dog or child's pose. Hold your child's pose or down dog. Take a couple of breaths. And you can either hold it here or move through the flow with me 2 times. Inhaling forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, down dog or child's. One more time if you're flowing. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, push back, down dog or child's. Now we lift our left foot high up to the sky. Kick it forward into runner's lunge. Now preparing for crescent, we can keep that back foot down. We can lift the hands up onto the thigh. See if you can see, that's better. Okay, pelvis, belly, shift forward onto those toes, unless you're staying in runner's lunge, and then your knee is gonna stay down. We'll lift our arms up nice and tall. Good, let's hold our crescent lunge. And as we did last time, rock forward onto those back tippy toes to fire up that back leg. Couple big breaths. One more inhale here. Exhale, open up into warrior two. Turn your body to the side, stacking shoulders on top of hips, bending forward into that left knee, really strong arms. Now holding warrior two, let's bend into side angle. Elbow to the thigh. Taking that right arm up to the sky and making sure we're never leaning in this shoulder. Really strong through your arm, bending into that left knee just a little bit more. Big inhale, lift up. Warrior two. Exhale, slow spiral. Control your waterfall down. Step back into plank. Push back into down dog or child's pose. You can choose to stay in your stretch or join me in two more flows. Inhale forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lift up to cobra. Exhale, pressing back, down dog or child's. One more, inhale forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press back. Holding on a stretch. Notice how this feels. Let's take a moment, watch our breathing, and get ready for pigeon. I love pigeon. Let's really enjoy this one today. We start by taking that right foot high to the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, kick the foot up to your left wrist. The knee comes towards your right wrist. Use your hands on the ground to press that left leg back behind you. Make sure it's straight back. Check to see that you're balanced on your kneecap and your imaginary shoelaces. Now, as we're here, we're balanced on our knees and our feet. We're off of our hips, and we can come down onto our elbows if we'd like. I like to make my fists turn into pillows, resting my head down. We'll take a couple of moments here, noticing if this right hip is really talking to us today. If we feel comfortable, if we feel a little bit, defensive or on guard, maybe we just come up a little bit higher. Take those slow, deep breaths to help calm ourselves down. Relax that right hip. And if anyone wants to take this just one step further, you're going to join me in coming up onto the hands for king pigeon, otherwise staying in pigeon. If we're taking it one step further, we bend the left knee. Take our left hand and try to grab a hold of the ankle. You can keep that right hand on the floor if you need to or want to. Otherwise, we're going to try to lift that right hand up. Now, this is really good for targeting that left hip flexor into the thigh and getting a little bit deeper into that right hip. Take a moment, however we're holding this, whatever we're holding, we're going to hold it for one final big breath in. Exhale, release. Take our time as we slowly come out of that, pressing back into down dog or child's pose. And feel free to move through either position if it feels good. All right, now let's get ready to repeat that pigeon pose on the other side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, kick forward in towards right hand. The knee comes towards that left wrist. Look over your right shoulder as we press all the way back. Now notice if we can stay on the top of the leg, so on the shoelaces, the kneecap, hips and shoulders square to the front of our mat. And then when we feel like we're in a really nice position, we can come down onto our hands, our elbows, or maybe even lay our head into that pillow. Noticing this time our left hip and how it's feeling. Staying here for just a couple more moments. And if you're ready and wanting to join me, we've got ourselves coming into king pigeon, lifting up onto our hands, bending the right knee, taking a hold of the leg, the pants, the sock, whatever you can grab with that right hand, and then keeping your belly button square to the front, we can lift that left arm up. Stretching into that right shoulder, the right hip, the right thigh, and into the left hip. And if we're staying in pigeon, enjoying this for 2 more breaths. And release. Everyone together, take your time. Coming all the way back, down dog or child's pose. Very good, everybody. What I'll ask us to do now is move forward into plank and slowly lower our body completely onto the stomach. Adjusting anything you need to be comfortable on the stomach. Because we're going to do some stretching down here. The first one will be knot. With our knot, we want to imagine that we're tying our shoelaces or tying a bow tie. Taking our arms straight out in front of us like we would for Superman, relaxing completely on your stomach. We'll start with tying a half knot, bringing the right arm underneath your left shoulder, just like thread the needle in child's pose. So we've moved the right arm underneath. We're laying on our shoulder, looking towards that open palm. Very relaxed. And now we're going to do the full knot if you're interested. Otherwise, just staying in half knot if you'd prefer. If you're joining me for full knot, we'll bring that left arm across as well. Pulling the hands so that we're creating a straight line underneath our collar. And notice if you can relax your head. Opening up through the back of our shoulders. This can be quite restrictive for some of us with tighter shoulders or really big arm muscles if they get in the way. Notice what this feels like. And slowly release. Arms coming forward into Superman, and just take a moment in Superman. And we'll slowly start to bring that left arm, thread the needle under right, and lay in half knot. Big deep breaths. And we can stay here. If anyone would like to join me in full knot, we bring the right arm across now, pulling the hands as far apart as they can go comfortably, and then trying to relax the head. Whether we rest the forehead or the chin down, or if it's still a long ways out, noticing how this feels. One more inhale. And we'll exhale. Release those arms, relax them in Superman, and take another moment just to ourselves. Now bringing our hands back into our hips. We'll get ready for bow, which we can do full or half. If we're going to do full, we'll go ahead and grab both of those ankles. Try to keep your knees within your body's frame. If you're doing one leg at a time, the other hand is just under the shoulder, and I'll cue for that. Okay, ready everyone? Try to flex your feet if you can. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift up. We keep our pelvis on the ground. If you've got both legs up, you may notice that your body rocks a little bit as you breathe. That's okay. Try to keep your heels pressing. If you were doing just one side, let's switch sides. You can drop the right and pick the left up. And now all together, we'll take just those last couple of breaths. See if we can lift our feet, lift our chest just a little bit more, holding bow. One more big inhale. And exhale, relax. Hands coming underneath our shoulders, pressing up for cobra. Ooh, I just got so tall. So noticing that in yourself too as we progress. If you feel your back lengthening, yourself getting a little more open. And we'll lay onto our stomach as we take our final position in prone, which just means laying on our stomach. And this will be scorpion. We'll take our right hand underneath our right shoulder, bend the right knee or both knees, and push ourselves over that left arm. Trying to get both knees up to the ceiling. For me, I don't want to put that much pressure on this left shoulder, so I stay a little bit more tilted with just one leg up. One more big inhale, and exhale, lower onto the belly. Right arm comes out, left hand under the left shoulder, bend the left knee or both knees, and roll over the right arm. And maybe on this side, you can roll farther. Maybe you can't roll quite as far. Really listen to the body and have no expectations of what the pose should look like. Just experiencing it. One more inhale. And we can exhale, lower onto our stomach. Take both hands under the rib cage or the shoulders for her final cobra stretch up. Lifting ourselves nice and tall. And then pressing back into child's pose. Now you might feel a lot going on through your back. Just take a moment, take a couple breaths, like that body scan that we keep referencing into our x-ray again. How are our feet, our knees, our hips, our backs? How are our shoulders, our necks, our arms? We'll slowly come up into tabletop and around, sitting down with our legs straight out in front. Now from here, we're going to take our forward fold. So legs are in staff as we sit nice and tall. Let's roll the shoulders down. Get ready to take that big breath in. Inhale. And now exhale, reach our arms forward over those legs. As soon as we feel a stretch, we relax the hands and maybe we even tuck the head. Noticing what we're feeling up the back or behind the knees. And slowly roll up. Now we're going to do another pigeon. This is our double pigeon. So how we start is by taking our legs and just clearing the canvas. If you want to think about this as a fresh painter's canvas. We haven't created our design yet. We'll take our right leg and paint it first. So bring it almost like you're about to go into a crisscross applesauce or seated pose. You've got your right leg down. We'll take our left foot. We want to bring the ankle on the outside of the knee. So for me, I'm a little bit tight today, apparently. I didn't know that. And this is as far as I can go. Some people will be able to take their legs, if my arms were my legs, and stack them right on top of each other flat. Okay, so this would be your legs, right on top of each other flat. I've got my ankle on the outside of my knee, and you're trying to create parallel lines with your shin on top of shin. Depending on how flexible you are, how tight you are today. Like I said, apparently I'm tight in my hips today. I've got quite a lot of space between my knee and my ankle. Now, as we sit here, we can just hold that top leg, and I want you to sit up really tall. Flex your feet. Maybe even close your eyes. We'll take a couple of breaths as we notice any stretch happening through our hips. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly release. If you have to help your legs get out of that, we'll clear the canvas again so we can paint our double pigeon on the other side. We'll take our left foot across so that you're trying to get your shin lined up with the front edge of your mat if you're still facing the front of your mat. And then your right ankle is coming across so that your foot is on the outside, able to hang very naturally over top of your thigh. So I'm sitting on both sides of my bum. And again, my hips are pretty tight today. So I've got lots of space between knee and ankle, lining my legs up with my left leg and then right leg sandwiched on top. Notice how this looks, trying to get shin in line with shin. And then we can rest our hands on that top leg, targeting that right hip, sitting up so tall. Let's close our eyes. Take a couple deep breaths. Very nice. Last inhale. And exhale, release. Help your legs get out of that. I'm going to take my hands just in back, resting a little bit as we windshield wiper those hips. Just relax the knees side to side. And now getting ourselves ready to lay down on our mats, I'll ask that we very carefully lower our body completely down onto the ground. I always like to give myself a big hug when I lay on the ground again. And if you are also giving yourself a hug, feel free to rock side to side. At this point, we're getting ready for 2 final stretches. The first one will be our spinal twist. Let's take both knees up 90 degrees. We'll lower our arms out to the side. Take a big inhale in the middle. Now exhale, lower the legs completely to the right. You can hold your top leg with your right hand if that helps, and look over that left arm. Slow, deep breath. Very good. Inhale, lifting the knees up. Exhale, lower to the left. Relax the legs. Maybe hold that top leg with your left hand as we look over that right arm. Notice where we're feeling the stretch, how this feels. Really becoming quite good at checking in with yourself. Inhale, lifting the knees up. And we'll take the feet to the floor and open up into a butterfly. Knees separate, soles of feet glued together, pressing all 10 toes in towards each other, gluing your heels, allowing your hips to open, feeling that stretch. Arms are wherever they feel comfortable. I want us to feel safe, relaxed, calm. And we can choose to stay here and use this as our final relaxation pose. Otherwise, if you'd rather take yourself into Shavasana, or maybe even baby pose, whatever is calling, whatever your body's asking for, let's move into that position now. Again, if you'd like to stay in butterfly, please, I invite you to stay. And as I find my final resting pose, moving our arms into that place as well, we'll close our eyes, release the muscles from our abdominals, our stomach, our shoulders, our legs. If we're still holding our hands tight, relaxing fingers, relax our toes. If we haven't done so already, let's close our eyes. We feel softness, very peaceful. What I'd like to invite everyone to do during this final relaxation is count our breathing. We inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more time. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wiggling out our fingers and our toes. Take a moment and notice how you're feeling at this very second. I hope it's relaxed, maybe re-energized, refocused. Go ahead and circle the wrists and ankles, maybe gather the knees to the chest for one last hug. And we can take our time moving through baby pose Up into seated. Preparing for that final goodbye. Sitting however we need to in order to be so comfortable. Thank you so very much, everyone. Ready? Inhale, hands up to prayer. Exhaling down through heart center. Namaste.